Hey there, Jets Nation. Welcome back to One Jets Pod. Whether you're tuning into our video content or joining us on our audio-only platforms, we've got you covered. If you're enjoying what you hear or see, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and don't just gently tap, but smash that bell icon to stay notified whenever we drop new content. Also, we love comments and 5-star ratings. Thanks again, Jets fans. Now together, let's fuel the green and white passion. Let's go, Jets.
Welcome to Jet Life Stadium.
Hit it! Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Randy with the One Jets Pod, and as you see on the screen, I'm joined by Dominic Lorenz on this week's preview show for the Atlanta Falcons versus the New York Jets. Dominic, I appreciate you joining me this week. How are you, my friend?
Doing pretty good. We're going to try to conjure up some champagne magic that, rub off a little 49ers champagne magic and give it to the Jets a little bit to kind of snap their losing ways and kind of get right at home against Atlanta this week. So hopefully JETS equals WIN.
Absolutely, man. We need all the good juju we can get because, we're trying to save our season. We need it. So, yeah, let's get into this preview show, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right.
Preview it up.
Yeah, we got the Jets taking on the Falcons this week. Now, mind you, the Falcons are coming off a win against the Saints, a division win.
Mm-hmm.
The Saints outperformed them in almost every category. I mean, it was pretty close in a lot of areas. The Falcons did outrush them. But, I mean, this was just nothing but field goals for the Saints. I mean, the Falcons put it to them, and look what the Falcons can do, dude. I mean, they can move the ball clearly.
Mm-hmm.
They put up 17 points. It's over. I mean, I have no faith in this one, Dom. What do you think?
On the Atlanta side of things, they're starting over the last couple of games to use Bijan Robinson more. That's a dangerous rookie right there, folks.
Yep.
Gibbs. There's been a lot of rookies this year that have popped on the page. Your buddy CJ Stroud, doing his business over there in Houston. But Bijan's somebody you got to watch out for. Yep. Okay, let's be real. This is the guy for Atlanta. They're going back and forth. Desmond Ridder actually finished that game against New Orleans. So, we thought Heineke was going to be the new starter. All of a sudden now Desmond Ridder's back in the driver's seat. So Desmond Ridder is very hot and he can be very cold. So you don't know what Desmond Ridder you're going to get in this game. Mm-hmm. You pressure Desmond Ridder that the Jets can do on the defensive line and linebacker side of things. Maybe you get them in some uncomfortable situations. Positive right there for the Jets. If you can contain Bijan Robinson to a minimal amount, that's positive in your favor. Again, you control Desmond Ridder. His receivers aren't great. Drake London is the best, 45 receptions, 565 yards, and 2 tutties this year. That's pretty much it. Kyle Pitts doesn't do that much. So it is in a very weird way, Atlanta can come across as an anemic offense. Mm-hmm. But they can have these bursts where their defense will help them out, like 21-17, 17-13. They'll win those low-scoring, tight ball games. And that could be what we're seeing again this week, I think, with the Jets in mind.
And that's also a team that's, they just beat the Saints. At least they got a tiebreaker on them. But it's playing to stay in first place, man. I mean,
and Atlanta,
they got playoff aspirations in Atlanta right now.
They do, because after beating Saints, after disregarding this game this week, their next 2 games
under 500 winning percentage in their first place.
And the next 2 games that they face are against divisional opponents in Tampa and Carolina. So 3 of their 4 games are against divisional opponents where they can stack things up. If you look, and I know we're going to get this into the picks, they're going to chomp at the bit at this game against the Jets, because if you look at the overall schedule for this upcoming week, New Orleans is at home against Detroit. Detroit losing against the Packers last week. So that could be a tight matchup game. Falcons and Jets, and Atlanta and New Orleans, who are tied for first at 5-6, are going to get a wash game because Carolina's in Tampa. So either way, one is going to wash out another, even though Carolina's 1-10, so that one doesn't really matter. I see, spoiler alert, I see Tampa Bay winning that game. So if they do 5-7, which means if Atlanta loses, they're back to second and now in another tie with a divisional opponent. So they're going to be chomping at the bit to avoid being tied again.
And the Saints got
second
Detroit
place
this week too.
So there could be
matchup.
It's a tough situation, I know Boyle's going to start again for the Jets. I think Boyle's just because I know the quarterback talk's been the thing for the Jets. Okay, you're going from Rodgers to Wilson, now you're at Boyle, third quarterback in 3 quarterbacks in 13 weeks. Okay, not what you guys thought it was going to be overall. I want to say Jets need to be fearless. But when they were fearless, they threw a 99-yard interception touchdown. So I have to pump the brakes a little bit on that one. I really believe up-tempo offense. Do it.
Yeah.
It worked. It got you yardage, and it got you into better situations than you were in previous weeks.
Yeah.
So keys for me, limit Desmond Ridder, especially limit Bijan Robinson. And up-tempo offense, you can do that. By no means am I guaranteeing a win. But it will help your chances to be competitive in this game. And, of course, all the basic stuff we talk about, third downs, red zone. Yeah, that goes without saying. That just throw a graphic up on that. Do this to actually look like an NFL team.
Yeah.
But, hey, positive, Jets are still not the worst team in football.
Yeah, they play like it sometimes.
So,
I mean, it's just. I mean, look, you got Atlanta. I mean, they were 50% on third down. God, I would love for the Jets to be 50% on third down.
Yeah.
I mean, they're prone to making mistakes. Like you said, they can be an anemic offense sometimes, but they're prone to making mistakes. Devin Ridder can make them bonehead decisions. But my whole thing on this thing, man, is I keep saying it week in, week out, whether we're talking about third down efficiency, whether we get in the red zone somehow. Luckily, we were 50% this past week. We only made it in there twice. You got to be better there. But it's and the penalties, man. The penalties is what keeps killing us. Because can you imagine? I mean, just how many points, how many really good drives that this has stalled that could have possibly ended in a touchdown that resulted in 3 points or no points?
Yeah, I think a really good stat to find in this situation is for the Jets offense. How many penalties have they had in the red zone?
A lot. And to be honest with you, I think a lot of times that's where they occur.
And that's where the conservative call could come from because you want to avoid that. So you're playing scared.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then on defense, where are the penalties that have the opposing team on the fringe of the red zone, but get a free pass to the red zone? Like if it's 3rd and 11 on the 33 and incomplete pass, but 15-yard pass interference, that gets them in the red zone. That'll get them to the 18-yard line. How many penalties like that are free walkways to the red zone? I think looking at those two, I think would be eye-opening for a lot of Jets fans. And that's one thing that if Brandon was on tonight, because I know he was at the game on Black Friday against Miami, I wanted to sink my teeth into that and see the feeling at MetLife and everything that was going on and what he was seeing firsthand right then and there. I know he'd be pretty much the same things we are at this point, but
for a team that's trying to save its season, man, like
you're not doing a great job.
Game plan or play like it.
And I
can only imagine just how frustrating it is for the defensive player. Could you imagine doing everything in your power, doing your job, drive in, drive out, and you got half of your squad just holding you back, and you can't say anything because you don't want to break up the team chemistry. You don't want to be that kind of player. But that's what at some point that's where you need a players only meeting to where, I mean, you just need to start holding guys accountable, and the defense just needs to tell the offense, get your fucking head out of your ass. Get the coaches in here too. You get your fucking head out of your ass. You start holding these assholes, start holding us all accountable. Like, no discipline. Like, I don't understand. Like, Robert Saleh, you can be a player's coach, and I can see it in him why he can't hold guys accountable. You did it with Lazard this past week. You benched his ass.
You're doing it.
Start doing that more with these assholes.
You're doing it in very small sample sizes. Lazard, for example, So I feel as an outsider, faithful to the Bay, non-diehard Jets fan, but an outside Jets fan, this coaching staff is borderline, if not already, checked out and know the season's done for.
They know they're coming back next year.
And they kind of have that soft cushion of, but Aaron Rodgers Aaron Rodgers' Achilles is going to be the scapegoat of why things maybe didn't work out the way they were supposed to here this season. But even with all of that, as a fan and as a pundit, media-wise and different things, I'd be like, you may lose your quarterback, but let's look at other teams. Minnesota lost Kirk Cousins. Josh Dobbs, even though he had a crummy Monday Night Football game, he's keeping them alive in the NFC. Okay? There's a lot of quarterbacks that have gone down this year, and quarterbacks or backup quarterbacks in these situations you're feeling a sense. Look at the Raiders. The Raiders' defense is more leading that charge, but McConnell isn't washed. He's actually making throws. It's not as clean, but he's doing what he can. Right. There's situations. So is it coaching? Is it players? A little bit of both. Accountability is always a thing in these situations. But I just think these coaches are scared to say anything because I don't know if they don't want to jeopardize their coaching future next season within the Jets organization, or they just already have a preconceived notion in their mind like, the season's already done. Why am I going to harp on somebody when we're just going to clean the slate and go into the offseason and prepare for next season?
Yeah.
It could be an audition process right now for these guys. The remaining, 6 games of the season? Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, man, like when Aaron Rodgers went down, like I wonder if that was instantly the thought of, the front office, like, oh, this season's done. Like they knew we weren't going to be able to win with Zach. Like, well, Zach probably, in hindsight, and I'll say this right here, right now, and a lot of people are like, oh, Zach should have never been the fucking backup quarterback. Well, yeah, but we were also happy-go-lucky, smelling the roses over the summer. I didn't see anybody fucking bitching about that. All I heard was, oh, now he gets to learn behind Aaron Rodgers for a year.
And it looked like it was going in the positive direction from what we saw on Hard Knocks. You saw him get his stride. You saw Aaron Rodgers coaching him up. You saw things. Right. You saw hopeful things. But again, you weren't supposed to pin your hopes on him.
But like I said, like nobody was bitching about Zach being the second guy. Nobody cared that Boyle was fucking third string where he probably should be. Now, granted, hindsight's 2020, and maybe it should have been flipped, and you should have really put no pressure on Zach and had him as the third string. Hell, you really want to put some pressure on him, just make him the emergency quarterback and go out and get a third string or whatever back up. But I'll tell you right now, dude, like, and I'm gonna have to make a video because I have to eat a little bit of crow dom.
Okay.
Because I'm sure you've seen it. I did a Joe Douglas rant video. Because Joe Douglas is my guy. I love Joe Douglas. He's changed the culture of this team, and I still think he deserves to be here. I still think Robert Saleh deserves to be here. But, I mean, I don't understand when Rodgers went down, if that, like I said, if that was their thought process that, okay, the season's done, we put so much into this team this year already that it's almost financially and feasibly stupid to maybe put anything else. But when Rodgers went down, Dom, we had pick of the fucking litter.
You were the first quarterback. You were the first big injury of the season quarterback-wise.
Yeah.
You could have had, and probably the best free agent quarterback that was out there was Carson Wentz. That at that time.
Or give up 7. I mean, I think that's what Minnesota gave up for Dobbs was a 7th rounder, right?
Yeah, you could have traded for Dobbs. You could have.
If that's what we're competing for, give him 2 second rounders. We got 3 if you want them.
You could have went Colt McCoy, who I've talked about before on this show. Maybe you call the Saints and ask for Jameis Winston. I'm not saying that's the savior, but people that have run an offense, call Detroit, Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
Call somebody that has a quarterback available or a free agent quarterback that has.
I've been okay with Flacco at this point, too.
That has mild success or has seen success at a decent level at the NFL level. I really think if the Niners didn't trade Trey Lance, Robert Saleh knew him the last couple of years when he was at the Niners. I know that would have been a hard sell, but somebody
you don't even know what you got with that guy. I mean,
you don't. But the only thing you would have had going for you is Saleh knew him from what he could do, and that
trade though.
Yeah, that you're playing with fire a little bit, but still, somebody along those lines. I remember the morning after Rodgers went down, we were talking, you and I said Carson Wentz or Colt McCoy.
Yeah,
pull the trigger. Even get both and cut Boyle. Simeon wasn't there yet, but cut Boyle.
Yeah,
have Zach Wilson start for a week or two because you need the other two to get acclimated. But then if something hits the fan, Carson Wentz.
Yeah. And you know why Boyle sucks, dude. And anywhere he's ever been, he sucks. But you know why he's there, right? It's because he was with Aaron in Green Bay. He knows the system very well. So now you had 2 guys that know the system very well, very well there to teach Zach.
And that's why
he maybe should have been 3rd stringer. Hindsight.
Maybe. And I think that's why, like the Boyle situation, Cobb came over, Lazard came over. They all know this was all set up for Rodgers.
Yep.
And when that plan hit the fan, it was like, okay, 90% of our playbook's gone. We got to start from scratch here in week 2.
And I tried to give Hackett the benefit of the doubt by saying, okay, it might take a couple of weeks to really adjust this playbook to fit it to Zach.
Mm-hmm.
But then after a couple of weeks, it's like, well, dude, it doesn't seem like you're even trying. I mean, you're dialing up plays where it's 3rd and 6, and we're throwing a 3-yard pass on the sideline out of bounds at 4 yards. Now it's 4th down. We're punting.
Or 3rd and 8, and you're giving off a delayed handoff.
What the fuck is that, dude?
No, I think that's just being unsure and unaware. And you're just like, I don't know what to do without Aaron Rodgers. So I'm just you're playing a guessing game.
Yeah.
And all his Nathaniel Hackett's guesses on offense are wrong. Tell me where Nathaniel Hackett has gone right this season. Like, is there a play? Like, even in the Denver Bronco game, when they beat his former team, that offense did not look great that game.
Dude, we were 0 for 5 in the red zone, dude.
So there is no way.
His best game is the Kansas City game. He actually had a fucking. Well, I would say it was more second half adjustments, but I mean there was something there. I mean they made adjustments. There was a game plan of some sort.
There is no game you can say this phrase. Thank you, Nathaniel Hackett.
No,
you can't do that. And I don't think this week, getting back, to the Falcons game and the rest of the Jets schedule, not jumping too far ahead, but I always like to do this every week just to see what's ahead. Falcons, on paper, should be a competitive game. 5-6, 4-7, so on and so forth.
Yep.
The Texans, no. Dolphins, no. Commanders, it'll be interesting.
That could possibly be the one Rodgers comes back.
Maybe so. And Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good Aaron Rodgers.
You know it would be.
The Browns game, pass rush, their defense is good. But
they don't have Deshaun Watson, so.
But that defense.
Quarterback situation does not scare me. So if Rodgers is back and the defense, and with our defense, I think that game doesn't scare me as much if Rodgers is back. If Rodgers isn't back, the game scares me.
I'm playing the odds that Rodgers isn't back in this situation.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
The Falcons game on paper should be doable. Again, on paper, doable. With the weapons you have and Texans no, Dolphins no, Commanders on paper should be competitive. Browns no, Patriots, God please win. if you're looking,
how we lost the first one, dude.
so 3 out of your final 6 are doable. So right there, that would put you at 10 losses. You would be 7-10 if I say 3-3. Not great, not bad, but I said, hey, if you can go 9-8 without Rodgers this year, you said you'd be thrilled, regardless of playoffs or not.
Yeah.
So 2 games under that expectation.
Improvement in the win column. It's a winning record at least. Yeah, even if it missed the playoffs, I would have been thrilled with 9-8 with Rodgers out. Dude, like I said, winning record. It's an improvement in wins, and with Robert Sala. So, oh man. So let's go ahead and get into let's go ahead and pick this game since we're on it.
Now with Brandon not here, I do have his picks. I don't know if you want me to say his picks for him or if you want to do it.
I'll let you have this one.
Okay. I'm gonna throw Brandon under the bus here. He's gonna be a brave soul, folks. A brave soul, and say the Jets are going to beat the Atlanta Falcons. Brandon is saying Jets win. Good for you, buddy. Man. And this is a tough pick personally for me because Atlanta's my team that notoriously gives me problems. Mm-hmm. It's the Bengals for Randy. It's the Commanders for Brandon.
And the Texans.
Thank you, Texans. I'm going to go with Atlanta personally in this game, but watch the Jets win because I pick Atlanta and that's my team that backstabs me. So if that works, I will gladly fall on the sword to get the Jets a win. So I will pick Atlanta in this game.
Well, Dom, you are not alone because I'm going to go with Atlanta too because the Jets they fail to show me any kind of anything that they can win a ball game. Mm-hmm. Again, they keep shooting themselves in the foot with penalties. That doesn't seem to be clearing up anytime soon. So, I mean, again, the lack of discipline. I mean, even when they can get in the red zone, they can't score. And when they're there, it's penalties that either drive them too far back to where they can't even get a field goal attempt or whether they're punting now, or it just ends in 3 points. Boyle's our quarterback. The offensive line's a practice squad offensive line at this point. I mean, Atlanta at least can move the ball, and they've shown they can move the ball.
Yep.
If Atlanta at least scores 17 points here, it's over. So I got Atlanta. I mean, Brandon's going to be the sole dude on this one, man, because I just do not. I'll tell you right. I've said it. I'm pretty sure I've said it. I don't see the Jets win another game unless Aaron Rodgers is playing quarterback. Sorry. But if Aaron Rodgers will come back,
it's a big statement. It's a big statement, but the probability of it possibly happening is getting higher and higher each week.
I just don't see it. I mean, you just read off our schedule, man. I don't like teams like the Browns, the Texans, like all these teams can, even no matter what their quarterback situation is, can still move the fucking ball. The Jets can't. We can't even crack 200 yards total offense.
Yeah, at this point, the Patriots game is going to be the closest attempt at victory for the Jets the rest of the year. The closest.
And we couldn't even beat them earlier in the year.
I'm sorry if we're negative Nancy Jets fans, but
trust me. Anybody watching is negative, dude. There's nothing.
No, right now. But this is factual. We're not just we're not pulling the wool over your eyes, folks. No. And I know the Jets media, everybody is in reality, and it's the New York media. You're under a microscope 24/7. Yep. But please hit the like, comment, and subscribe button. So.
Please, thank you.
You know how it works.
No, but I know Brandon's probably picking him to give him a little good juju. But I just don't see it, dude. Like I said, we're a team that can't move the ball. Everybody else on our schedule can. They can also score points. We can't score points.
You hope for the best and prepare for the worst.
Yeah.
That's how the rest of the season is.
Atlanta can go out there, kick 6 field goals, and probably beat us.
They might.
They might. Yeah, they just might. With this defense, they just might end up with 6 field goals. So yeah, that's what it is. Dom's got the Falcons, I got the Falcons, and
Brandon on an island.
on the JETS, Jets. All right, that's going to do it for our preview show here for the Falcons and the Jets. Again, Dominic's picking the Falcons, I'm picking the Falcons, and Brandon has the Jets. Again, thank you for checking us out here on the One Jets Pod. If you're checking us out on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe and smash that bell notification so you're notified every time we drop some content. Also, if you're listening on the audio side of things, thank you for listening all the way to the end. Make sure to follow us and give us a 5-star rating. Again, Dominic, thank you for your time. Thank you for being with me here on this preview show this week.
Of course. Good luck to the JETS Jets, baby.
Absolutely, man, even though they're probably not going to use it.
Don't waste my magic, my champagne magic. That's my new nickname, Champagne Magic.
There you go. Again, thank you guys all for checking us out, and we'll see you down the road. Go Jets.
Welcome to Jet Life Stadium.
Hit it!